100% of the proceeds of the sales from Galder's Gazeteer are going to go to the Cancer Research Institute. You can find links so that you can pick up your copy of the PDF or book in the description below, and there will also be links so that you can find out more about Lawrence's story and how this project came together. Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today we're going to take a look at Galder's Gazeteer. Now this is a 183-page supplement that is very much in the style of Xanathar's Guide or Tasha's Cauldron. So if you are a player looking for additional class options, subclass options, and variants to classes that already exist, in addition to new conditions, new actions in combat, and feats and spells, then this is going to be a fantastic supplement for your collection. For Dungeon Masters, there's variant rules, monster templates, adventures, traps, factions, random tables, and all kinds of great stuff to add to your game. So today we're going to take a quick peek at all of this fantastic stuff that's available for 5th edition D&D that you can pick up today. But before we get started, I do want to give a little bit of backstory as to how this came about. 2 years ago, a young man from the UK made a post online announcing that he had a rare type of cancer, and he only had a few weeks to live. And what he wanted more than anything was if there was a way for his character to be immortalized within the Dungeons & Dragons lore. Now, a lot of members in the community stepped up and added his wizard Galder to their individual campaigns. And the folks at Dungeons & Dragons also fulfilled this request by adding Galder to the Lost Laboratory of Qualish, where you can find items such as Galder's Tower, Galder's Pipe, and Galder's Speedy Courier. Now, with all of this in mind, the community went a lot further, and what you have as a result is this book, the Galder's Gazeteer, which, in my opinion, is on the same level as other source books such as Xanathar's Guide to Everything and Tasha's Cauldron. There's a lot of information in here that you're going to like. The proceeds are going to go to the Cancer Research Institute, and I feel that this is a book that you would treasure and love to have on your shelf. Now, if you'd like more information on Lawrence and how this came about, I'm going to put a few links in the description below, including one to Lawrence's campaign blog and another to a video by fellow YouTuber Zipper on Disney, who made the announcement of the original Kickstarter for this project. So with that in mind, let's see what Galder's Gazeteer has to offer for us as players and dungeon masters. So Galder's Gazeteer, this is a 183-page sourcebook for players and DMs, and there is a ton of great stuff in here. I'm just going to highlight a few areas that stood out to me. And of course, we have our credits here. There are a lot of fantastic writers and artists that participated in bringing this together. And there's a few YouTubers as well that also were involved, including the project lead, Zipper on Disney. I recognize Matt Click there as well from A Fistful of Dice, and Matthew Perkins from his YouTube channel. But just an incredible team, and fantastic to see everyone come together for a great cause. Now, one of the first things you're going to be confronted with in the book or the PDF is a note from Abigail, who is Lawrence's mom. And this is definitely a heartfelt tale, giving us a little bit of insight about Lawrence, his love for Dungeons and Dragons, and his characters and his campaigns, and definitely something that is very much well worth the read and an absolutely wonderful inclusion in the book. And of course, we have our preface where we have the welcome. The wizard Galder has traveled to many, many worlds along his journeys. He has taken notes on the mysterious and fantastic things he's encountered. Now, this is going to stretch through all types of worlds. If I am correct, I believe that there was a few of the Kickstarter backers that were actually able to include their own homebrew content. So this book truly is bringing together a lot of things from many different worlds. And of course, there is also the story of Lawrence and how this book came about. So another fantastic portion of the book that is very much well worth the read, and 100% of the proceeds of this book going to the Cancer Research Institute. So that brings us to the table of contents, and again, this is a massive 183-page book with a lot of options and things for players and dungeon masters. I'm only going to take a look at a few things in this book, and I will leave the rest up to you after you buy this to browse through at your leisure. Now, one of the things we will take a look at immediately is the expanded rules, because this is a really neat addition that you can bring into your game. But as you can see, we have, for player options, we have 3 new character classes that you could use: a rebel, a rune wielder, or a therinthrope. So those are all classes with their own subclasses contained within. reading through a few of those, these are really cool options, and I'd be interested in your feedback on those. If you're going to give any of those a try in a future one-shot, or perhaps a DM letting you use them in your game. Really cool. And for most of the character classes, this book also has variant options. So if you're familiar with Tasha's Cauldron, there was variant options in there as well. And now this is like a third set of variant options. So looking over at the Ranger, if you wanted to play a Ranger and you don't like what's in the player's handbook and you don't like what's in Tasha's, then perhaps you could take a look at Galder's Gazeteer and you can find the variant Ranger form, and maybe this is something that you'd enjoy playing. Now we'll take a look at the Sorcerer in a little bit because that's my favorite character class, and I'll pick one of the subclasses to take a peek at. Ancestries or races, we have Dragon Folks, we have Shamble Folk, we have Taurian Orcs, Vampires, new groups, Dawnblade, Island Halflings, Mushroom Gnomes. So a lot of very cool options as far as that goes, and we have feats and spells. Now, if you're a GM, there are some tips for environments and how to use them in your game. There's monster templates, some really cool things along those lines that you could use or maybe manipulate or change so that they better fit what you're trying to do. There's also variant rules that GMs could use in their games, including encumbrance slots, deadly knockdowns, falling damage, heroic training, followers, rules modules, underwater fighting, all kinds of great stuff that's just going to bring out that imagination and just enhance your game. Challenges is one of my favorite parts of this book as far as being a GM or a DM. We've got cursed items, factions, and of course, you know I like traps. There's also random tables. There's a quest generator. There's weapon properties. There's all kinds of great stuff. And if you're looking to run a one-shot or a game, there's two adventures in here, the Twilight Game and the Heart of the Lion. Now, as we continue through the Gazetteer, you're going to see that the artwork is absolutely stunning. I really love how this book came together, and especially not only with the content, but with the artwork. Well done. So one of the main things I wanted to point out about Galder's Gazetteer is the expanded conditions and the combat options. Now, of course, using this book, it is available as a major expansion for 5e, so you should be able to incorporate this as you see fit. Now, of course, if you are a player in a game, make sure you ask your Dungeon Master before you bring any of this material to your game. So one of the first things that comes up in the book is the expanded conditions. This expanded condition list adds several new ways to alter a creature's capacities. Many game elements in this expansion rely on these conditions, so GMs are encouraged to familiarize themselves with them. So with that being said, there are a lot of character class abilities or monster abilities that are going to bring about this condition. And as you can see, we have bloodied, burned, despondent. Now, despondent is an interesting condition that kind of brings about this overwhelming hopelessness or depression. Very similar to, like in Harry Potter, the effects of the Dementor attack, or maybe the effect of the One Ring on Frodo. So I'm really interested in seeing what monsters or abilities are going to bring about the despondent condition. That's interesting. Doomed, dulled, fatigued, rested, and wounded. So some of the conditions are even beneficial. So with rested, this condition is a boon to a creature rather than a penalty. At the GM's discretion, a character might gain this condition for living a luxurious lifestyle for some time, enjoying a lavish feast for relaxation, or by spending downtime recuperating. So maybe after a nice hot bath, then the character is rested and can have the rested condition. And then, of course, it goes through some of the effects of these conditions. So going back to despondent, a despondent creature can't have advantage on ability checks to interact socially, and the creature does not add its proficiency bonus to its attack rolls or ability checks. And with rested, there's quite a few there, including the creature gains temporary hit points equal to half its constitution scores. And gaining this condition ends a creature being fatigued, and its levels of exhaustion, if any, are reduced by 1. So really cool things there. Now there are new combat actions which are fun to read through, where we have Guard, where you can interpose yourself between a creature and any attackers. You have Harry, where you can attempt to hinder another creature's actions or foil an attack. Sunder, you attempt to break an item another creature is carrying or using. And you have Escape, where you can take an escape action to try to withdraw from combat. There are also reactions, where you have Maneuver. As a reaction, you can switch places with an ally who wants to maneuver into your position. That sounds fun and tactical. And you also have martial attacks, including Staggering Bash, arcing slice, deep stab, and expert snipe. So some fantastic options for playing the game coming right out of the gate in Galder's Gazeteer. And once again, the new classes, which we won't go over, I'll save those for you to discover on your own, are Rebel, Rune Wielder, and you can see some fantastic art there as well, and Therianthrope. So 3 new classes in Galder's Gazetteer that should be a lot of fun. If you've already taken a look at this PDF or the book, be sure to leave a comment below and let me know which class you'll be trying in your next game. Now we enter the class variants and the subclasses for the 5th edition classes, and I'm just going to take a quick look at Sorcerer. That's one of my favorite classes to play. And again, you have your variant Sorcerer abilities, including innate magic, flexible cantrips, and things of that nature. And I'm going to scroll down and take a look at one of the subclasses that I would be interested in playing, and that is the Gnostic Soul. You are a supernatural vessel of arcane knowledge, unbridled and unmanaged. Your powers are caused by the collision of your bloodline with a concentrated source of information about the nature of magic. Some Gnostic souls had an ancestor that was possessed by the spirit of a powerful archmage whose magical learnings left an generational imprint. Others were exposed to an animated spellbook that transferred some of its sapience onto their being. Whatever the case, now these extraordinary powers reside within you, constantly trying to escape and be learned. Inexperienced Gnostic souls find very quickly that their fledgling talents are high volatile when not contained and bound in the correct way. So at first level, a Gnostic Sorcerer is going to get bonus understanding. Your Gnostic Source's learning echoes in you. Starting at first level, you can pick a spell from or roll on the table to set your Sorcerer on their specialty path. You learn the spell and it doesn't count against the number of spells you know. You also gain proficiency in the correlated skill. So this is fantastic. I love this, and I would probably go for Perception if I didn't already have it and gain the spell Identify. But I believe all of these are fantastic options to have. It gives you an extra skill proficiency at first level, and it also gives you an additional spell. Now, also at first level, you get Polyglottal. Your Gnostic soul is drawn to words you might not fully comprehend, and reading them stabilizes its temperamentality. Starting at first level, you roll with advantage when trying to decipher spoken and written languages, even those you have not learned. Additionally, as part of a short or long rest, you can study books or texts in languages you don't know, and then you can roll a d6. On a roll of 6, you have advantage on saving throws against becoming frightened or despondent until you finish your next long rest. So this is also a great ability. I absolutely love this. We're a sorcerer that loves reading texts and learning about history, things of that nature. And as you can see here, this ability here includes one of those new conditions that we previously talked about, against becoming frightened or despondent. So the fact that all of these are starting to tie together already in this book is a fantastic idea. Now, before we move on, let's take a look at one more ability for the subclass. That is Shade Summoner. At 6th level, you begin to have visions of creatures and aberrations you've yet to come across, memories and records from your Gnostic soul. You can sketch or scribe the likeness of an aberration, beast, elemental, fey, fiend, or ooze down on paper. You can bring connections from your magical past into the world through the image. The image appears as a wispy, intangible figment of the creature at a spot that you can see within 60 feet, and it lasts for 1 minute. The image uses the stat block of a creature up to CR3 of the same type as the drawing. The creature's stat block has the following changes. Its hit points are equal to half your hit point maximum. It is resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical weapons, and any speed that it has is reduced to 5 feet. So if it has a 40-foot flying speed, then it's only going to be able to move 5 feet per round. The figment acts like the creature would when your Gnostic soul encountered it in the past at the GM's discretion. And you can use this ability once per long rest. So this is a fantastic, I can really imagine seeing this drawing out an ooze or something along that line and summoning this creature into existence during combat. This would be a lot of fun. Now we have Ancestry, which are many different races from all over the planes. We have dragon folk, and again, this artwork in this book is absolutely stunning. Very well done. I love it. And as we continue to, the layout of the book is very well put together. It's very eye appealing, and I just enjoy looking through this. Very well put together on all aspects of the book. Hats off to the team. So continuing with our ancestries, our races, there's Dragonian. Check that out. That is amazing. Tigro, maybe a tiger folk type of a race or ancestry. Taurian orcs. Penumbra. Storm celestials. Shamble folk. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. I love it. Shamble folk. And Thrum. Again, just fantastic artwork. Vampires. You can play as a vampire. And Zula, which is a humanoid part ooze. And then, of course, the players section ends with feats and an expanded spell list. Now let's take a look at Chapter 3, which is the GM Toolkit. And again, there's a lot of templates that you can use to inspire your own creations. One of those is the environmental templates that can be easily applied to modify the terrain of a combat encounter, or if you are on a voyage or doing a lot of traveling. The next section of the GM Toolkit is monster templates, where a GM can get inspiration for creating or modifying their own enemies or monsters for their game. And then we move on to our variant rules section, where we have deadly knockouts, which remind me a lot of critical hit charts or critical miss charts. And we have encumbrance slots, where instead of calculating gold and weight and things of that nature, you actually have slots that you can use. There's falling damage, opposed initiative, fighting underwater, midvantage. When a roll has both advantage and disadvantage, instead of rolling 1 die, roll 3. If the results of all the d20s are different, use the result of the die that has the middle value. If you roll the same number on 2 of the dice, use that value as a result of the roll. That is amazing. Roll for advantage, roll for disadvantage, or roll for midvantage. I am going to use that in my game. Zach Hooven, nicely done. That is awesome. Heroic training, over exertion, triple team, called shots, you name it. There are a lot of different variants in this book, and it's just going to add so much more. I can't say it enough. Fantastic. We've got an entire section about factions. I'm a big fan of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, so factions is a lot of fun. I am considering making my own factions, so I will definitely be paying this section a lot more attention in the near future. And then we have traps, and these are all complex traps. There's like 4 or 5 of them here, and I'm very excited about this. In fact, I plan on doing a trap video in the very near future that's going to feature one of these from the book. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and you have that alert notification active so that you know when I upload that trap video. So look forward to that very, very soon. And again, another quick pause for the artwork. Check this out. This is so cool. The Twilight game. So this is an adventure you can run from the book, and it is suited for 4 player characters at 5th level. The party starts on a well-traveled trail whose proximity to the nearby Twilight Forest has never been an issue until now. With children missing and fake creatures plaguing travelers, the party must venture into the woodland and the plains beyond to uncover the truth of disappearances. That looks like a lot of fun. Okay, one more pause for artwork because this is absolutely awesome. I can see this scene playing out. Check out this wagon. All of these goblins are coming out and trying to attack. Look at this goblin here trying to sneak under the carriage cover. That is amazing. Little goblin butt sticking out of there. That's awesome. Arr, close up. And the second adventure is Heart of the Lion. Heart of the Lion is an adventure suited for 4 player characters of 15th level. So if you're looking for a high level adventure to run, you've got one right here in Galder's Gazeteer. The party arrives in the port town of Foley at the behest of the local Adventurers Guild as an ancient feud between 2 godlike entities, the shadowy Vulgus and the righteous Azadun, come to a head. The party soon becomes the only hope to stop the return of a great and terrible darkness and must seek out magic relics to save Foley and the world from imminent destruction. At the end of the book is going to be some magic items. Sword of the Fated, Bow of Pride, and absolutely amazing artwork again. So that's my review of Galder's Gazetteer. Now, I highly encourage all of you to check out the description below, and there you will find the links where you can pick up your copy of the PDF or the book. Not only will you be adding a lot of fantastic options to your Dungeons & Dragons game, whether you're a player or a dungeon master, but you will also be supporting a great cause and helping spread the word of Galder and Lawrence's dream of immortalizing his character in Dungeons & Dragons. That's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching, and on to the next. So this is a really good book. The fact that the community came together to put this together, the fact that 100% of the proceeds is going to the Cancer Research Institute. This shows us what D&D is all about. It's about community. It's about being good. It's absolutely amazing. And again, hats off to everyone that put this together. This is absolutely fantastic. And the content inside of Galder's Gazetteer is top notch. I really enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun to add to games. So with that being said, I do want to do a giveaway. So thank you for sticking around to the end. And all you need to do to be entered into a random drawing for this giveaway is to be a subscriber to the channel and to leave a comment down below. And in that comment, be sure to put the hashtag Galders, G-A-L-D-E-R-S. And by having that in there, I'll look through later and I'll do a giveaway for one of these books in a couple of weeks, probably. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.